a man who specializes in reverse engineering, accepts high-paying short-term jobs in which his memory is erased upon completion to maintain the confidentiality of the projects. However, things take a turn when he completes a 3-year assignment. Instead of a paycheck, he receives an envelope filled with seemingly random objects. It is intended to help him navigate a complex conspiracy and unravel the mystery behind the project he last worked on. Hello, welcome back to iMovies. Today, we're diving into the 2003 sci-fi movie known as Paycheck. But before we jump into the details, make sure to show us some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Now, let's get right into it. The movie begins with Michael Jennings, a reverse engineer. We see him taking a look at the first 3D computer monitor produced by ARC, and intrigued by the display of technology he purchases. Later, Michael meets Rita Dunn, a lawyer for Nexim Company, the main competitor of ARC. They hired Michael to reverse engineer the 3D computer monitor that he purchased and was given 2 months to deliver a product. Michael wasted no time and started working on it. 2 months having thoroughly studied the program and hardware. He introduces a revolutionary hologram technology to compete against the 3D computer monitor by ARC. Nexim Company members were really impressed and decided to launch the innovation right away. After that, Rita congratulates Michael and offers him champagne. She mentions what Michael has finished in 2 months is what they've been trying to do for the last 3 years. In the next scene, Michael is on a chair, with his best friend Shorty. We now see that for every job that Michael finishes, his friend Shorty is there to assist him in erasing the memory for the whole 2 months that he is working with that company. They can do this process because Michael implanted a biochip on his brain and can choose which memory they can erase. Rita and the members of Nexim Company stand in front of him to witness as Shorty erases Michael's memory of the last 2 months. After the memory deletion, Michael mentions the last date he remembers is October 19th. The date on the wall indicates it's now December 22nd. Rita tells Michael that legally, he was never connected to Nexim, and his creation now belongs to Nexim's intellectual property. Michael isn't bothered and simply asks for a paycheck. Days later, Shorty helps Michael train his reflexes to aid in his brain's recovery. Shorty wonders if Michael thinks about the memories he erased, but Michael prefers remembering only the exciting vacations that follow his jobs. Later, Michael attends an event hosted by his former college roommate James Rethrick, who is the Allcom CEO, a powerful and secretive technology corporation. There, he meets Dr. Rachel Porter, a biologist working for James. Michael finds Rachel interesting and flirts with her. He even tries inviting her to a private setting, but Rachel laughs it off. Meanwhile, James interrupts and asks Michael to come and talk with him in private. James knows Michael very well and offers Michael a job in his office, guaranteeing a minimum 8-figure salary. However, the job requires 3 years, and Michael is hesitant about erasing those years from his memory. But James assures him it's an investment for the rest of his life. Michael eventually agrees, and soon he arrives at Allcom's campus. There, he meets John Wolfe, James's right-hand man, who informs him that he won't be allowed to leave the campus for the next 3 years, and that all his mail will be screened. In James's office, Michael is instructed to surrender all his personal items. John then prepares an isotope to inject Michael. This migrates to his brain and serves as a marker. So when they are done with the job, they just need to inject him again, and it will erase everything from that marker fast. Unfamiliar with the process, Michael hesitates, but ultimately agrees. Afterward, James shows Michael their greenhouse. While Michael wanders on his own, a robot hands him a flower. Finally, Michael sees Rachel holding the controls and apologizes for his behavior at the party. But James interrupts and leads him to a secured section of the campus, where he meets Dr. William Decker, the other half of the team. 3 years later, Michael wakes up with no recollection of what happened. James happily informs him that the job is done. Jennings returns home, checks his bank account on his computer, and laughs upon seeing over $90 million worth of stock shares. He then goes to Reddy Grant's and Associates where his money is transferred. The teller, Jane, hands him an envelope, but he doesn't recognize the items inside. Nonetheless, he shrugs it off, more interested in cashing in on his company shares. Jane drops a bombshell revealing that Michael forfeited his shares 4 weeks ago. Shocked, Michael refuses to believe he would do such a thing. At home, he calls James, but James is unavailable. Suddenly, his door opens, and he hears movement in the kitchen. Michael rushes inside, grabs a bat, and prepares to confront the intruder. As the intruder attempts to escape, Another man pins Michael to the wall, and more men arrive to apprehend him. Later, Michael is interrogated by FBI agents Dodge and Klein, accused of reverse engineering classified technology. Although they confiscate items from the bank, Michael insists they are not his. When they put a watch from the envelope on his wrist, it perfectly matches his tan line. The detectives noted that Dr. William Decker, a government physicist, had a project shelved 3 years ago. They suspect James bought Decker's design, but Decker was recently killed, and they can't prove James's involvement. However, they find Michael's signature on patent applications for a design similar to Decker's work, indicating Michael recreated Decker's confidential project. Michael stresses that his memory of the past 3 years has been erased. The detectives attempt to forcefully extract his memory, but are unsuccessful. Agent Dodge, stressed out with the whole situation, asked for a cigarette, and one of the agents gave him one coming from Michael's belongings. Suddenly, smoke detectors are triggered, and Michael seizes the chance to escape. He grabs sunglasses from his belongings, allowing him to see clearly through the fog, and before sneaking out, he grabs the envelope of his belongings. Outside the headquarters, John Wolfe, the right hand of James, is surprised to see that Michael has escaped. The agents chase him into a bus station, where he drops the envelope. Finding a bus ticket inside, Michael uses it to enter the terminal, losing the agents on the bus. Examining the items in the envelope, Michael discovers a lens, an Allcom swipe card, and a ring with diamond. A young man tries to steal the ring, prompting Michael to chase him out of the bus. He stops when he realizes he's back at his bank. Inside, he asks Jane who sent him the envelope. Jane shows him the record, suggesting that he sent it. In a motel, Michael examines the envelope's contents and finds a fortune cookie message, a coat, hairspray, an Allen wrench, a paper clip, keys, a coin, ball bearings, and a matchbook from a non-existent bank. Perplexed by a crossword puzzle and a single bullet among the items, Michael is unsure of their meaning. He calls Shorty asking to meet him, and while waiting for him at the train station, a stuffed bird's toy triggers a memory with Rachel. Meanwhile, observing a maintenance crew with the company name written on the back, Edison Service, Michael checks his items and finds a key with an Edison keychain. At the same time, Shorty arrives, and Michael explains the situation, showing him the items. Shorty is unfamiliar with them, but Michael shares that the agents claimed he worked with Decker, known for allegedly building a government laser. As Michael swallows all the details, he notices the lottery numbers on the TV and matches those on the fortune cookie message. He deduces that the items from his envelope helped him escape the agents and go to the bus with a ready bus ticket, suggesting he gave up all his money to ensure he paid attention because the machine he built allowed him to see the future. At the same time, James is with another scientist, telling him the machine's hardware that Michael created was sabotaged, but assured that it can be fixed. James then calls John and tells him they don't need Michael anymore and his men can kill him. Subsequently, Michael, believing he saw his future using the machine, thinks he sent himself the items for assistance. Then a gunfire erupts, prompting Michael to protect Shorty. He gives Shorty the Edison key and instructs him to escape through a maintenance door. As Shorty escapes, Michael subdues one assailant and escapes downstairs, through a subway platform and into a maintenance tunnel. He uses hairspray and a lighter to defeat armed men, stealing a gun and running outside. In a tense standoff, both men aim their handguns. Michael ingeniously creates a diversion, causing a passing train to halt, narrowly avoiding disaster. Escaping the subway, Michael's actions suggest foreknowledge, leaving the pursuers baffled. In the FBI headquarters, where agents inform Attorney General Brown that Michael seemingly designed his escape, they review images from Michael's memory, suggesting he predicted the events. Brown reveals Decker worked on a laser-enhanced lens capable of seeing into the future, including glimpses of Michael awakening after being shot. The next day, Michael wakes up and, seeking calmness, washes his face. He drips water over the bank matchbox, revealing a hidden logo for a cafe. He called Cafe Michelle and unveiled a reservation for 2 at 1 o'clock. Simultaneously, James pays a visit to Rachel's apartment where she's engrossed in feeding her cherished birds. Informing Rachel that Michael completed his project and had his memories wiped, James reveals that Michael has left Allcom. Rachel, taken aback and disheartened, recalls Michael's promise not to erase his memories. James and John surveil video footage of Rachel, attempting to locate Michael. Observing Rachel's reaction in her bathroom, They speculate that she received a message from Michael. When Rachel leaves her apartment, James assigns a security agent to accompany Rachel outside. Meanwhile, John searches Rachel's bathroom for clues and discovers her planned meeting with Michael at Café Michelle at 1 o'clock. Rachel leads him into the greenhouse, hands her bag to a co-worker, and escapes, leaving the man below to watch. Simultaneously, James prepares a decoy at the cafe. James employs Maya, a Rachel lookalike, to go to Café Michelle in Michael's stead. John, positioned across the street, prepares to shoot Michael, but is delayed due to the nearby police presence. Maya informs Michael that he must provide her with something from his envelope. Upon emptying the contents, James instructs Maya to tell Michael to hand over the Allcom access card. However, when Maya kisses him goodbye, Michael's memory is triggered. He notices her colored contact lens moving, revealing that her eye color differs from Rachel's. To confirm her identity, he asks about his favorite baseball team. As the police move away, John prepares to shoot, but Maya pulls out a gun, realizing her cover is blown. Suddenly, Rachel intervenes, knocking Maya unconscious, and Michael spots John outside. They duck as John shoots. Michael grabs his items and swipes a card from Maya's bag before they escape into a parking lot. Remembering the car key in his envelope, Michael presses the remote lock and realizes it's not a car, but a motorcycle. They ride away, pursued by John and his men. They ride against traffic to lose them. But the chase continues. Attempting to block Michael's path, he makes a sharp turn, but the men persist. Michael navigates around until a truck crashes into one of them. Reaching the shipping dock, Michael drives into the container vans but drops the envelope. Rachel hops off to retrieve it. While facing off with pursuers, John fires, but Rachel rushes through. After making a car crash into a sewer pipe, Michael swerves the motorcycle in front of Rachel, making gravel rain on another car, causing it to crash. He retrieves Rachel, and they ride away, just as police cars arrive, forcing John to stop the pursuit. Michael maneuvers into a narrow tunnel and evades the police. That evening, the couple stayed in a motel. Still suspicious, Michael checks Rachel's bag, but she catches him. She hands him some of his clothes, photos, and a video player to jog his memory. Michael, still disoriented, apologizes as Rachel leaves the room. The following day, Michael and Rachel engage in conversation, and Michael notices the stamps from the envelope, realizing that one is different. Remembering he listed 20 items in the bank's record, but only found 19. Looking closely, he realizes one stamp is different. At a nearby school, they borrow a microscope to reveal hidden news articles in the stamp. The articles detail disasters foretelling a nuclear war from Allcom's device. Michael figures that destroying the machine is the only solution. Heading to the Allcom campus, Michael and Rachel employ a clever distraction at the security check by dropping ball bearings into the metal detector, allowing them entry. Recognizing their movement, James orders his guards to vacate Michael's laboratory to deceive him into fixing the machine. Despite their suspicions of a trap, Michael and Rachel reach the machine, and an undercover agent tips off Brown about their location, who gathers a team. Michael uses the Allen wrench to open the door's console and jam the reader with a coin. However, they discover it's not working, realizing it's bugged. Michael heads to the server room, using a crossword puzzle to locate and remove the bug. James detects that the machine is operational and sends his men to apprehend Michael. Michael activates the machine and foresees himself getting shot on the catwalk, but he assures Rachel that he can change the future. As guards attempt to breach the door, Michael and Rachel head to the server room for an escape plan. Using the last item from the envelope, a bullet, Michael notices hydrogen tanks in sequence, placing the bullet on the 6th tank. They exit through a vent just as John and his men arrive. In the greenhouse, Michael battles guards to allow Rachel to escape. Rachel fights back when cornered, and Michael defeats the guards. Facing another armed guard, Rachel uses a robot to switch the gun into Michael's hand. When another guard takes Michael's gun, Rachel hands him a bamboo stick to fend off attackers. At the lab, James witnesses Michael's apparent demise on the catwalk. In the greenhouse, Rachel activates simulated winds to distract guards, allowing Michael to knock them down. James arrives with a gun, prompting Michael to escort Rachel to an exit. Michael locks himself in, stating that the machine is his responsibility. Tearfully, Rachel refuses to leave, but Michael insists she honor their love by living a good life. As she leaves, Michael confronts James, who dares him to change his future. Michael hesitates, allowing James to beat and choke him with cables. James ties cables to lift Michael, dropping him onto the catwalk. The FBI agents storm the campus, and Brown orders Michael's death to prevent him from falling into James's hands. As the catwalk opens, Michael turns to find Rachel apprehended by Allcom guards. They reunite, as James recounts their potential happiness if Michael hadn't sabotaged the program. FBI agents and James aim at Michael, but Michael's watch alarms, telling him to go, and the couple dodges a bullet, leading it to hit James. In the aftermath, John meets his demise when a booby trap set by Michael detonates, obliterating the machine. As the chaos settles and the FBI launches a comprehensive investigation, Agent Dodge discovers the watch Michael utilized. However, instead of revealing this crucial evidence, Dodge chooses to conceal it and officially declare Michael deceased. Meanwhile, Michael, Rachel, and Shorty have relocated to the serene countryside. Leveraging his influence, Shorty manages to rescue a cage containing a pair of lovebirds that Porter had nurtured at all calm. Reflecting on the fortune cookie message found in the mysterious envelope, Michael inspects the cage, unveiling a lottery ticket for the winning jackpot of a staggering $90 million. If you'd like to see us recap any other movies or topics you have in mind, just drop a comment and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button, share this recap, and subscribe to stay updated for the next one. Until next